Welcome back to Rare American Coins, where we uncover the fascinating stories and hidden history behind the coins in your pocket, and today we are going deep into one very specific and often overlooked, yet historically significant piece of American currency, the 1983 Jefferson Nickel. This coin is more than just a 5-cent piece. It is a snapshot of American history minted during a transformative era and steeped in changes to our economy, our minting practices, and even our everyday lives. This journey will take you from the very origins of the Jefferson Nickel in 1938 to the unique context of the year 1983 and the historical backdrop that makes this particular date so intriguing to collectors and historians alike. To understand the 1983 Jefferson Nickel, we must first trace the full story of the Jefferson Nickel series, starting with the replacement of the Buffalo nickel, which had circulated for 25 years by 1938. The United States Mint initiated a design competition for a new 5-cent coin honoring Thomas Jefferson, and artist Felix Schlag won the competition. His design would grace American nickels for decades, with only modest modifications, until the redesign in the early 2000s. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse originally showed Monticello, his Virginia estate. This design marked a departure from the frontier imagery of the Buffalo nickel toward a more statesmanlike and neoclassical aesthetic reflecting the ideals of the early republic. As we move forward through the decades, each era adds layers of meaning to the Jefferson nickel. During World War II, the nickel alloy was changed from the traditional copper nickel to a wartime composition, including silver, due to military demand for nickel metal. These so-called war nickels, minted from 1942 to 1945, are especially prized by collectors for their distinctive large mint marks above Monticello and their silver content. The series returned to its original composition post-war and continued with relatively minor changes through the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Now let us focus on the specific conditions of the year 1983. This was a critical year for American coinage and economic policy, as the United States was recovering from the recession of the early 1980s and grappling with inflation, interest rates, and changes in consumer behavior. The cost of minting coins and the availability of metals were under close scrutiny, and the U.S. Mint was increasingly focused on efficiency and modernization. The 1983 Jefferson Nickel was struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with no nickels produced at the San Francisco Mint that year for circulation. Notably, Philadelphia minted nickels from this year bear no mint mark, which can make them challenging to identify. Compared to their Denver counterparts, the Philadelphia Mint was under pressure to produce large quantities of coins, and the emphasis was more on volume than on perfect strike quality. This led to some notable varieties and errors, which we will explore in great detail throughout this video. As we delve deeper into the physical characteristics of the 1983 Jefferson Nickel, we will examine its composition dimensions, weight, edge reading, and the metallurgical consistency of coins produced that year. We will also analyze dye states and how dye wear affected the visual quality of many 1983 nickels, resulting in weak strikes, blurred features, and doubled elements, all of which have implications for rarity and value in the collector market. We will now examine notable error coins and varieties from this year, including off-center strikes, clipped planchets, double die obverses, and full steps examples, which are highly sought after by numismatists. Full steps refer to the clarity of the steps on Monticello visible on the reverse of the coin, and coins showing all 6 full steps are considerably rarer, especially from the 1983 issue due to the quality control standards at the time. In this video, we will compare mintages and historical demand for the 1983 nickel with other years in the series and assess the current market value for circulated and uncirculated examples, proofs, errors, and top-graded coins. We will feature auction results, population reports from grading companies like PCGS and NGC, and expert opinions from dealers and professional numismatists. We will also contextualize the role of the nickel in everyday commerce in 1983, including pricing inflation, the use of vending machines, parking meters, and other nickel-accepting technologies, which were far more prevalent then than today. This gives us insight into the everyday economic life of Americans and the place of the nickel in the broader story of currency circulation. Throughout this journey, we will examine how the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence, has continued to shape American identity and why his image endures on our coinage. We will explore debates around the continued use of his portrait and how the Jefferson nickel has served as a vessel for historical memory. We will also look ahead to how collectors view 1983 nickels today, what factors contribute to long-term value, and how to evaluate your own coins using loupes, scales, and reference guides. By the end of this deep dive, you will know how to identify a high-value 1983 Jefferson nickel, what makes it rare, and how it fits into the broader historical and numismatic landscape of American coinage. So whether you are a seasoned collector or just beginning your numismatic journey, stay tuned, because the 1983 Jefferson nickel is more than just a piece of metal. It is a window into history, technology, art, and the American experience right here on Rare American Coins.